Oh god, okay, right away, bright light. Welcome back to the 327. Yeah. Yay. Um, hmm. Is there anything to say? No. Okay, well, I'm kidding. Sadly, I have to sit here for 20 minutes. Yay. Yeah, I think on the very last video or so, I might upload a private video untagged, maybe unnamed, and put the piece on a video up, but that feels super cheap. But I feel like part of me is like, oh, well, you should for other people. I'm like, no one's gonna find it through me anyways. So I'm like, that's true too. So it's like a dual-edged sword of what I want to do, but I probably just won't. Yeah, I won't do it. That's just ethically, morally, the correct choice. I won't. Yeah, that's a big thing with, the problem is that people don't really see, or a lot of people don't really realize, is in America there's the left, the right, and like central, and the right is usually can be very far to the right, but what is like the left is like not that far. So a lot of like these like ones that I don't know, like that people can tolerate or people like is in the is more the central. So there was one, it's like Democrat person that was like more central, but that's not necessarily the worst thing ever. But just the fact that it's like we have voting coming up and we have a third party, and third party is got really good stuff going on, but they're not gonna win. And it kind of just sucks because it's just like, vote for someone who is the thing is that they know what Democrat voters want to hear, but then when it actually comes down to it, they do a lot of more right things, and it's like, okay, but maybe don't just do acts just to get, like, I know with politics, I mean, that's what all of them do. Don't do acts just to get into the office and then do your own thing. That's like such a weird thing to me that, and this might stab me in the back later, but I would just like, yeah, I'm like essential, like, yeah, I don't have radical ideas, and then be like, trans people should have rights, and people are gonna be like, oh, but you voted in on central ideas, and I'm like, suck my dick. Central ideas, who cares? Anyways, so, anyways, so it's like, vote for the person that you honestly think should be in the office, or go with a numbers game to just get the better of two options, you know? Because third party things just don't survive, because anyone can make any party, and that's why there's like a bunch of very similar named parties. It just is completely, just doesn't work. There's, oddly enough, America's system is broken. And unrelated news that are definitely not news. Anyways, I watched the Rocky Horror Picture Show for the first time. Let me tell you, that was an interesting thing. And it just is so funny because I knew too the straightest, this is church going every week people. Like, we shan't have sex before marriage. No, no, no. They might have, I don't care. But very by the books how you should do it. And apparently they first date or something went to a showing of the Rocky Horror Picture Show, which I knew had a lot of punk costume inspiration. Apparently the person didn't, it's a parody of horror movies or like B-class horror movies back in the 50s and 60s. And so what happened is, it's really quiet. Anyways, so what happened is that it's supposed to be a parody on that kind of stuff. And but things not make noise, please. Thank you. It's such a like the main character, Dr. Frank. Well, main character, not really the main character, but the main antagonist, I guess. The one that owns a house, played by Tim Curry. Anyways, he literally seduced both of the couple, and I'm like, this is not just not cis. This is the gayest. And I was just like, so it's like, it's punk and it's not straight and it's like, it's LGBT and all it's all at once. So I was like, you guys went to this. And the problem is that it's one of those things, I think that if a cis straight person was like, yeah, that's my favorite movie, it's like a red flag. Which I knew I thought it was gonna be completely unwatchably outdated, but it actually surprisingly wasn't. Like, I was really surprised how, like, that's why I pushed it off for so long, because I knew there's something on my eye. I knew, like, the main, or the big twist, I guess. I heard the twist before, I kind of knew all that, but I didn't know how to play it out, so I really thought it was going to be like, ooh, that is, not great culturally. But instead, I'm walked away going, yeah, okay, because, like, give it, the word transvestite, it, blah, 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 not blah, 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 but, like, there's layers of different things, different people, different eras, like, the word transgender versus now, like, if an older trans person, I think some people as young as, like, 30-something, they're like, I grew up with using, and when I figured out the term, I realized that, you know, people use the word transsexual, it's just what people use. I don't think transvestite was super used, but I don't know, I don't remember, because, like, drag and trans and different things, some people used it for if you physically or medically transitioned or not, versus kind of just like dressing up, which is where drag, the street level drag comes from, where it's like people think that Marsha P. Johnson isn't trans, besides saying that she is trans, because she at one point says that they wanted, this one guy wanted to sleep with her, and the guy didn't know that she explained that she was a drag, but like didn't know I was like a boy in drag, where what she was saying is she didn't have any surgeries, I don't think she was on hormones, but like she didn't have any surgeries, versus somebody who had surgeries. Like, there are people, black and white photos, I used to think black and white photos were like, I guess back then it wasn't 100 years ago, but like, I thought it was a decade or two older than like the last black and white photos were used, but that's not true. They're like vastly not true, and it's really interesting because I really thought it was farther, but it wasn't. Anyways, I think because society moves so quickly in blah 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 blah. Anyways, the point was that there are pictures of really old like the 20s and 30s of trans men with top surgery and people having surgery and hormones and blah blah blah. And just because because to get surgeries and hormones and medical treatments tested, you have to have someone pay the bill, and no company wanted to pay the bill to have this tested, because if you want to get it tested, that means people have to take it. No one wanted to fund people transitioning, fund the company that proves if transitioning was okay or not. No one wanted to do that. No one wanted to also slap a whatever, seal it. Like, no one wanted to be associated with that, I'm pretty sure. Which was one of the reason that I would know, especially nowadays, that people don't want to be part of. I know there's some surgeons that don't like doing surgeries. Not that they're unknown, like they're dangerous. They just might not have the best result. And as a doctor, you don't want to have a fail rate. So I know some top surgery doctors, yeah, they have like a 98% nipple graft success rate or whatever and stuff like that. But then it's like, okay, but who do you do surgery for? And apparently that one top surgery doctor exclusively does like B cups and under, and I'm like, oh, okay. Which I'm not saying that's bad, I'm just saying that it's like, okay, because the bigger the boob, the longer you have to be under, bigger the chances. If you have a small enough nipple, you don't have to do anything to it, you can just read it, blah blah blah. And then especially if they're really tiny, you don't even have to do double incision, you can do different methods, whatever. So it's just like, okay, cool. Oh, my hand hurts once again. So just like the fact that your success rate is correct. However, it also kind of sucks that you couldn't just do more. You know what I'm saying? Oops, you can see my hand. Anyways, and just the fact that some people don't like having a fail rate of anything, which I understand. It's your career, which is, you can hear it a lot in, what's the show called? It has two plastic surgeons. One is especially a breast doctor. One is a facial, especially nose doctor. There's two of them. I'm thinking of Nailed It, but Nailed It is that baking show with amateur bakers. What is the show? It's like not Nip and Tuck. That's a different TV show. I don't remember. God, I don't remember. So what happened is, in that one TV show, they mentioned a lot that he mentioned, like, doctors wouldn't want to do surgery on you to the one patient, like multiple patients, being like, people wouldn't typically do surgery on you because you're such a high risk patient. Not even high risk for your life, high risk that it doesn't work. So they're like, we can try to make it work, but if it doesn't take, or if it's blah blah, they don't, they have that, I guess maybe because they're on the show, somehow they kind of work around it, but they had it a lot with, I think one of their names was Terry or something, and another one ended, like the first letter, last name started with an N, I think. Anyways, the point was that, that like they mentioned that they don't like doing surgery on certain people because like she had a reject implant before, so putting in an implant that rejects again, it would be on you as a doctor technically, and blah blah blah. It's just not what they want. But yeah, no, I also was thinking just now with Amy making that joke in the video where in the very first one where Mark filters his pee through their Brita, and I'm not saying that anything about their relationship, but I would view that as such a red flag for me, because I absolutely hate, because she's like, no, please don't. So maybe he knew her limits. So I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. That bothered me so much because I had people in my life that just do not. I knew an old boss that one of my coworkers like, hey, don't use my Tupperware to put chemicals in because it's my mom's brand name Tupperware. Don't use it. And the boss literally put chemicals in it and threw away her Tupperware because she didn't take it home within, I think, 2 or 3 days. And she's like, it's on my desk, I'm gonna bring it home. Like, don't take my stuff and use it. And now I have to go to my mom that I borrowed the Tupperware from because it was from leftovers from her mom's place, and have to tell her that her Tupperware dish is destroyed by my boss. And like, she was mad, like big mad, and I had to go tell her that the boss actually did that. It was so annoying. Anyways, the boss was also my dad, so yeah. God, I hate people. But anyways, so I don't know, just like, if someone says don't do something, just don't do it. One of the biggest red flags, or one huge red flag in a different way, was when Mark punched the wall. But I think Ethan literally sat down and talked to Mark about that. But for me, with the no, don't use our Brita, like, don't do that, and then he just does anyways. I think for me that's like, no, no.